If know your role and know your place had a face to go with it, this would definitely fall. This image would fall right in place with it. Shout out to Black Indie Dev on Discord for sending me this story. And man, let me tell you, this guy right here is probably so upset right now, but I feel absolutely nothing for him. And I'm about to go into why that is. So this guy's name is Troy Smocks, and they said he is a Black MAGA supporter. Now, he did not go to the invasion that happened on January 6th at the Capitol. However, he still ended up getting the longest sentence out of all the people that was involved at the Capitol. He got 14 months. So he got 2 years for this. Now, you're probably wondering, how in the world did he get 14 months? And many others probably barely got 14 days. Some maybe got a month, some got a couple of weeks, maybe 2 months max. But this guy got years. Like, he's the first person I've seen that actually had years. Not months, but years. As in, he's not going to come out until 2023, depending on when he goes in, of course. But the reason being is because he posted stuff online. Like, they say he was posting online threats that were targeting quote-unquote traitors, and he said it's because of the color of his skin as to why he's getting quote-unquote unfair punishment. I wonder if he's one of them, black guys that kind of tried to say that, you know, tried to fit in where he could, and probably said some things disparaging about his own people, but now he wants to use, oh, it's my skin color that's gotten me in this situation. Don't try to use that now. Don't try to use it now. Let me go ahead and get into it. A federal judge has handed down the harshest punishment yet for someone involved in the Capitol riot on January 6th, sentencing a Texas man who was not physically present at the riot to 14 months in prison. Troy Smocks, a black man from Dallas, had admitted posting threatening social media messages online the day after the riot from a Washington, D.C. hotel room. So he was there. He was in D.C., but he just wasn't at the event itself. Which means him traveling from Texas to there means he probably most likely had intentions of going, he just didn't go. Because they said he's from Texas. I'm sitting here thinking that he did this from his home in Texas, but he was in DC. He was in my vicinity. His sentence is the longest term to date, resulting from the federal investigation of the incident at the nation's capital. Smocks, age 58, appeared before U.S. District Judge Tanya S. Chutkan, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name right, for sentencing Thursday on one felony count of transmitting threats in interstate commerce. I'm no Dr. Martin Luther King, but we do share the same skin color and same idea of justice. I just want to be treated equally, Smocks said at the sentencing, after claiming he was being treated more harshly during court proceedings due to the color of his skin. Chutkan, who is also black, rejected the request from the Smocks attorney for a time served sentence at the low end of 8 to 14 months, recommended by federal guidelines, and dismissed the defendant's claim that his sentence was unnecessarily harsh because of his skin color. I have not seen a scintilla of evidence that prosecutors' decisions have been most racially motivated, Chutkan told Smocks at the hearing. Smocks admitted last month to posting a message on the social media network Parler under the handle Colonel T. Perez the day after the riot, which was viewed at least 54,000 times. Prepare our weapons and then go get them, it read. Let's hunt these cowards down like the traitors that each of them are. This includes RINOs, Dems, and tech execs. We now have the green light. The term RINOs refers to those who are deemed to be Republicans in name only. Smocks had traveled to the nation's capital before the riot, but he was not accused of storming the building. Smocks has been in jail since he was arrested on January 15th. He pled guilty in September. One of the few black people among the 600 plus defendants charged so far, Smocks argued that his treatment has been unfair compared to with others who did actually enter the Capitol. But Chutkan says she had not seen evidence that suggested Smocks' prosecution had been racially motivated, and she noted that Smocks expressed little remorse for his actions. People died fighting for civil rights, she said. For you to hold yourself up as somehow a soldier in that fight is very audacious. And basically, I'm gonna read to you what he said. He says, and these are put the post on his Facebook page. He said, today, January 6, 2021, we patriots by the millions have arrived in Washington, D.C. carrying banners of support for the greatest president the world has ever known. But if we must, and he said bit, he didn't say but, many of us will return on January 19, 2021, carrying our weapons in support of our nation's resolve, to which the world will never forget. We will come in numbers that no standing army or police agency can match. However, the police are not our enemy unless they choose to be. All who not stand with the American patriots or who cannot stand with us, then that would be a good time for you to take a few vacation days, the American Patriot. Now, this is coming from the Facebook page in which he created. This is what he said. Today, Eric Trump said, that he would physically fight with the Patriots to save our country. Today, Representative Mo Brooks asked the Patriots to pledge our live, I'm reading it as he wrote it, in wealth to fight our country. And today, President Trump told us to fight like hell. He said that our case was a matter of national security and that these people have behind the massive fraud must be arrested and brought to justice, and that task falls onto the shoulders of we the people, the American patriots. So over the next 24 hours, I would say let's get our personal affairs in order, prepare our weapons, and then go get them. Let's hunt these cowards down like the traitors that each of them are. That includes Renos, Dems, and Techs, and we have now the green light. All who resist us are enemies of our Constitution and must be treated as such. Today the cowards ran as we took the Capitol. They have it back now, only because we wasn't at the building that we wanted. It was them. And it's like a few other things, but it's crazy. He wrote all of that, went all the way to DC, and he didn't even engage. He wasn't there physically. He was just in the hotel, just sitting back idly by. So I questioned him. Who was the coward? You didn't want to get out there and fight with your brothers and sisters? Because I'm looking at this guy. He's no brother of mine. I can say that. The sentence exceeded what prosecutors requested at the time. He had already served in jail, during which he tested positive for WUVID. Smox has a 2-decade-long criminal history, and prosecutors say he had bought a plane ticket to leave the country shortly before his arrest. His social media accounts indicated he had been a colonel, but authorities found no record of military service. Oh, he really was feeling this patriotic thing, because there's a lot of palm-colored people who could be perpetrating the fraud as well. Prosecutors found evidence he had long passed himself off as a veteran and had a history of fraud-related convictions from the 80s to 2006, though he had stayed out of legal trouble over the past 2 decades. Smox's sentence was the longest since an 8-month term handed down in July to a crane operator from Florida who breached the Senate chamber while carrying a Trump campaign flag. Listen, I don't feel not a 1 ounce of anything for this dude. This guy did all of that from the comfort of his hotel room, from leaving from Texas to DC, typed all that up, didn't engage, and he still ended up getting the longest sentence. He's trying to use, it's because of my skin color that I got the harshest sentence. Did you see what you posted up online? Granted, you weren't there physically, but I'm gonna be honest. And I'm just, because I was just playing around a little bit, but it is what it is, because you know who we're dealing with here. Yeah, it probably is because of your skin color, which makes you even more of an idiot for being out there. You already knew what it was. You already knew. You stuck out like a sore thumb. See what happens when you link up with certain people and you try to save something that can't be saved? He could have used that energy for anything else, and now look at where it got him. I don't feel bad for him. I don't feel bad for him. He just stated the obvious, but his goofy behind should not have been out there. And that's really all it boils down to. Now he knows how he is seen in America. I hope he has time to reflect on that for the next 14 months.